It's the 5th of March 1944. In the Pacific, US fighter Aces are jockeying for position, trying to be the first American pilot to beat the victory count of a record that has stood since World War I. Eddie Rickenbacker's 26 victories has never been beaten. Neel Kearby currently has 21 victories, and he's got his eye on Rickenbacker's record. Neel is in his P-47 Thunderbolt, the fiery Ginger 4, named after his wife, Virginia. Many considered the Thunderbolt inferior to the nimble Japanese planes, but in the hands of Kearby and his pilots, its excellent diving capability and 8 50 caliber machine guns proved to be a deadly combination. With the competition fierce and the record about to be beaten by other American pilots, he's pulled together a fighter sweep with two of his friends, Bill Dunham and Sam Blair. Climbing to 22,000 feet, they head along the coast of Papua New Guinea. Far below them, they see a Kawasaki Ki-61 coming into land at a Japanese airfield. They decide to let this flying swallow escape as it's about to land safely, and they're best staying high for more accessible prey. They need to be patient. Within 5 minutes, they've spotted 3 bombers coming in at 500 feet above the sea. Ki-48s or Lily bombers. While these were bombers, they were fast and could loop and turn when operated by a skilled pilot. Kearby, Dunham, and Blair decide to attack. The P-47 had amazing diving ability. Building up energy while diving gave them the momentum to quickly climb back up to altitude for another diving pass, a technique that was to become known as boom and zoom. This struck fear into the Japanese as the attacks came with little warning, and the Thunderbolt's 8 50 caliber machine guns were able to wreak havoc on the lightly built Japanese aircraft. The 3 men each targeted a bomber, surprising the Japanese with the incredible firepower of 24 machine guns going off at once. Dunham and Blair shoot down the Japanese bombers that they targeted. However, Kearby, despite peppering the Lily, doesn't manage to down it immediately. Neel Kearby's own rules of combat in the P-47 were to never lose speed and altitude when in a fight, but with the bomber still flying, he made a fatal error. To make a complete circle and attack again to be sure it was downed. All this meant a loss of speed at low altitude. Finishing off the Ki-48, Kearby found himself low and slow, a dangerous place in a P-47. A lone Ki-43 Oscar spotted Kearby while he was slowly climbing, came in close, and filled Kearby's P-47 with lead. Bill Dunham had spotted the danger and was racing to help his friend. Speeding down to help, Dunham took out the Oscar, but it was too late. Searching for Kearby over land and sea, Dunham and Blair eventually were running low on fuel and had to give up the search. The 2 men landed back at base. Bill tried to get his plane refueled and head back out to immediately start the search, but with darkness about to fall, it was no use. In the end, he had to be physically restrained by the others from going out again. 9 months later, Bill Dunham was flying his P-47D over the Philippine Sea. After spotting and downing a Ki-43 Oscar and pulling up, he saw a Japanese pilot escape the wreck and bail out. The Japanese frequently shot at the American pilots who had bailed out. Bill pulled the P-47 around and lined up on the enemy, slowly descending in the parachute. Bill later told his family, "It was as if the Lord put his hand on my shoulder and said, 'Bill, don't do it.'" Breaking off the attack, Bill spotted the pilot bobbing in the waves below. Putting his plane into a shallow dive and risking his own life, he went down low over the waves. Opening his canopy, he aimed for the Japanese pilot and threw his Mae West life jacket out of the plane to assist the stricken airman. A painting of this event called Uncommon Chivalry hangs in the Seattle Museum of Flight. Kearby's remains were found in the jungle in 1948 by an Australian Air Force search team. In speaking with the villagers, it became apparent that Neel had bailed out successfully, but had received bullet wounds, either in the aircraft or on his descent by parachute. In the National Museum of the US Air Force, you can see a recreation of Kearby's plane, featuring part of the wreck of the original, which was found in the 1990s.